Okay, so today we will have the brief introduction about this OC practical. And from next batch or next practical slot, we will start with the practicals. Okay, so as we have seen that this subject is having practical in your lecture scheme and 2 hours practical per week. It is the lecture scheme for optical communication. Okay, so I will just share the screen. First, I will discuss about the experiments, then I will show you lab manual, and after that we will discuss what we are going to see in this particular practical. Okay, so I will first show you the list of practicals as per our syllabus. Okay, so here if you see, my screen is visible to all. Yes, please pay attention and give the answers whatever I am asking. Screen is visible or not? Sanjana, Rohini. Okay, just wait 1 minute. You log in. Have you? What is your roll number? 13. 13. Supriya. Okay. So my screen is visible. So I will just first show you the list of experiments as per the syllabus. So as per the syllabus, we have to perform minimum 8 practicals. So this term work, for term work, these practicals are required, though it is not having external practical oral examination, but for term work these practicals are required. So here if you see the list of practicals, then it is setting up fiber optic analog and digital link. First practical, it is setting up fiber optic analog and digital link. So we have to transmit analog signal and digital signal through fiber optic cable. That is the first experiment. Then second, frequency modulation using the fiber optic cable. So we have to do frequency modulation, and that FM signal we have to transmit through fiber optic cable. That is the second experiment. Then third, pulse width modulation using fiber optic cable. So here we have to take आता पहिले जे काही 3 experiment आहेत. Okay, so I will just classify these experiments. Just see what I want to tell. See, first 3 experiments. Setting up fiber optic analog link, digital link. Means what we are going to do in that experiment, we have to transmit the analog signal and we have to transmit the digital signal. That is the meaning of fiber optic analog link and digital link. So we have to transmit the analog signal as well as the digital signal through fiber optic cable. Okay, so I will just show you just wait 1 minute. You make camera on and show that backslide. Okay, I will just check. Recording in progress. त्याचा काय संबंध नाही actually. I will see what to do. Okay, so first I will discuss about the list of experiments, and then I will show you the practical kit on which we have to perform the experiment. Okay, so first practical is you make that volume off. First practical is setting up fiber optic analog link and digital link. So we have to transmit the analog signal through fiber optic cable and we have to transmit the digital signal through fiber optic cable. That is the first experiment. So if you see here, I am showing you So this is the optical fiber cable. Okay, you can see this. This is the optical fiber cable, and right now I am not able to show you the kit. Just I will show you how the light is coming out from this optical fiber cable. You can see now. I have this fiber optic cable. It is having two terminals. If I connect one of its terminal to some optical source, then you can see the light coming out of this optical fiber. Are you able to see this properly, students? Yes, see here. Are you able to see this? Online students. Priyanka. Yes, so I was disconnected due to some net issue. To make your video, it is on. Okay, am I audible now? Yes. Give the answer. रोहिणी, ज्ञानेश्वरी आहे का लेक्चरला?
Yes, ma'am.
Give some answers. So in first practical, we have to see how to transmit the analog signal and how to transmit the digital signal through fiber optic cable. That is the first experiment. Then second experiment is frequency modulation using fiber optic cable. So first we have to take one electrical signal. Then we have to do its frequency modulation, and that frequency modulated signal we have to transmit through the fiber optic cable. Okay, that is the second experiment. Third experiment, it is pulse width modulation using fiber optic cable. So in this again we have to take an analog signal, that's a pulse width modulation करायचा, and that PWM signal we have to transmit through fiber optic cable. So if you see these first three experiments कशावरती आहेत असं आपण म्हणू शकतो? पहिले तीन एक्सपेरिमेंट ह्या सब्जेक्ट मधले काय करतोय आपण त्या पहिल्या तीन एक्सपेरिमेंट मध्ये? वी आर ट्रान्समिटिंग द सिग्नल थ्रू फायबर ऑप्टिक cable, either analog signal or digital signal, either frequency modulation signal or pulse width modulation signal. So first three experiments I can write that first three experiments are based on what? Transmission of signal. First three experiments are based on the transmission of signal. Then next, if you see this fourth experiment, that is study of propagation loss in optical fiber, study of bending loss in optical fiber, measurement of optical power using optical power meter, measurement of numerical aperture. आता हे पुढचे जे एक्सपेरिमेंट आहे 4, 5, 6, 7. So these experiments are based on the measurement of various parameters. बघा तो पहिला आहे study of propagation loss. So you have to measure the propagation loss in optical fiber. That is the experiment number 4. Then experiment number 5, it is study of bending loss in optical fiber. So we have to understand bending loss means what? See, this is the optical fiber. If it is straight, you will be able to transmit the signal properly. But if it is bent like this, so there is one specific rod also given for bending of this optical fiber. So when we will perform the practical, you will come to know about this bending losses. So next experiment number 5, it is study of bending losses in the optical fiber. So after bending, the amount of light coming at output, it will be less or it will be more? Can anyone tell? बेंडिंग जर केलं आपण फायबर ऑप्टिक केबलचं तर त्याच्यामध्ये आउटपुट कमी होईल का जास्त होईल सांगा मला बेंडिंग नंतर? Students, it will be less or it will be more after bending? Jnaneshwari,
More.
optical fiber cable bend ke liye. Suppose water pipe is there. Through that water is coming. If you are not bending it, if it is straight, amount of water coming out will be more. If the same water pipe you are bending, definitely amount of water coming at the output is going to be less. That's why we have to see this bending loss. So the name itself indicates it is considered as loss, means the amount of light coming at output is going to be less. That's why it is called as the study of bending loss in optical fiber. सो चौथ्यामध्ये आपल्याला प्रोपगेशन कॉन्स्टंट कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं आहे. लक्षात घ्या, आपण क्लासिफाय करतोय प्रॅक्टिकल. मिनिमम 8 प्रॅक्टिकल आपल्याला घ्यायचे. त्यातले पहिले 3 कुठले आहेत? दॅट फर्स्ट 3 प्रॅक्टिकल्स आर बेस्ड ऑन ट्रान्समिशन ऑफ द सिग्नल, इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल, एनालॉग डिजिटल, देन FM सिग्नल और PWM सिग्नल. हे पहिले 3 प्रॅक्टिकल झाले. नेक्स्ट 4, 5, 6, 7 पुढचे 4 प्रॅक्टिकल हे कशावरती डिपेंडंट आहेत? स्टडी ऑफ व्हेरियस लॉसेस इन द ऑप्टिकल फायबर. सो फर्स्ट study of propagation loss in optical fiber, then study of bending loss in the optical fiber, then measurement of optical power using optical power meter, and measurement of numerical aperture. Okay, so based on these 4 practicals, or based on these 4 practicals, these are based on the calculation of various parameters of optical fiber. Like propagation loss we have to measure, bending loss we have to measure, optical power we have to measure, and numerical aperture. Yesterday we have discussed in the class. So numerical aperture means what? Can anyone tell? What is the meaning of numerical aperture? काल बघितले ना आपण क्लास मध्ये न्यूमरिकल अपर्चर म्हणजे काय? सांगा मला. फॉर्म्युला बघितलाय त्याचा. सो व्हॉट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ न्यूमरिकल अपर्चर? यस, ज्ञानेश्वरी दास, यू आर फॉर ऑप्टिकल कम्युनिकेशन सब्जेक्ट.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके. संजना, रोहिणी. ओके. हा, सो NA चा फॉर्म्युला बघितला आपण. व्हॉट इज द फॉर्म्युला ऑफ न्यूमरिकल अपर्चर that we have seen yesterday?
N1 square minus N2 square.
N1 square minus N2 square bracket raised to 1/2. That is the formula of numerical aperture. Then here we are going to measure the numerical aperture practically. So we are having some kit for that. So we will take optical fiber.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Voice is not audible. Okay, for others, is it audible properly? Hello? Others, my voice is audible? Supriya is here only, no? Priyanka? Jnaneshwari, Sanjana, my voice is audible or not? Okay, Jnaneshwari, you just tell me after 5 minutes. I will change that network. Okay. So this propagation loss we have to calculate, then bending loss we have to calculate, measurement of optical power using optical power meter. So I will show you that instrument, optical power meter. See, I hope you are able to see this. Is it visible? Okay, you can see this side. So this is optical power meter. If you see here, that is sign tech, and it is optical power meter. So this optical power meter, it is used to measure the optical power. आपण जसं बघतो मल्टीमीटर मध्ये आपण voltage current measure करतो. Similarly, this optical power meter, it is used to calculate the optical power of optical fiber. So here, if you see, here is one slot. So this optical fiber cable I have shown. It is having, are you able to see this optical fiber cable? So it looks like the coaxial cable, but only here you will be able to see the light when I will connect it to the optical source. So on kit there is optical source. So जर तुम्ही तिथं if you connect it that side, then you will be able to see this optical fiber and light coming through the optical fiber. Okay, so this is the optical fiber, light coming out of that optical fiber, and that end we will connect to this optical power meter. Okay, so this is the optical power meter. So this fiber coming, light coming out of this optical fiber is connected to this optical power meter. Okay, so here it is connected, and right now I have not made it on. When you make it on, here the power reading will be displayed. जसं आपल्याला करंट किंवा व्होल्टेज मल्टीमीटर मध्ये आपण मेजर करू शकतो. Similarly, this optical power you can measure on the optical power meter. Then next parameter we have to measure measurement of numerical aperture. So for that also one kit is used, and on that we have to use the numerical aperture. So this one I was discussing. So this experiment number 4, 5, 6, 7, we can say these are based on what? Measurement of various optical parameters. Okay, so these next 4 experiments are based on measurement of optical parameter. We are going to measure the bending losses. We are going to measure the propagation losses. We are going to measure the numerical aperture like this. So these next 4 experiments are based on the measurement of optical parameters. Okay. Then next 8, 9, 10. So these 3 experiments are based on the transmission of voice signal using fiber optic cable. So we can transmit the voice signal. Suppose I am talking. First, that voice is converted in the form of electrical signal. Then that electrical signal will be converted in the form of light, and then that light will be passed through the fiber optic cable. So in this way, we are going to transmit the voice through fiber optic cable. Now for this experiment, we require mic, because microphone is that transducer which converts the voice in the form of electrical signal. So first we have to talk through mic. That mic will convert our voice in the form of electrical signal. Then that electrical signal is given to the optical source. It will convert in the form of light, and again it will be transmitted. So you will understand when we will see that particular experiment. Then next is study of WDM, and next is study of LED output characteristics. So about these last 2 experiments, we will decide which one need to be taken. But up to this experiment number 8, we are going to study these 8 experiments fixed. Okay. So I will just highlight it with some. Yes, what happened? Somebody wants to talk? Sanjana. Sanjana? Okay. So is it clear? These experiments, what we are going to see? In first 3 experiments, we have to study how to transmit and receive the various electrical signals. That is analog signal, digital signal, then frequency modulation signal and pulse width modulation signal. So how to transmit these signals, that we are going to see in this first 3 practicals. Then next 3 practicals are or next 4 practicals are based on the transmission. These are based on the measurement of various optical parameters like measurement of propagation loss, measurement of bending loss, measurement of optical power using the optical power meter, and measurement of numerical aperture. So these 4 experiments we are going to take based on the measurement of optical parameters. And then next 3 experiments that are again related to transmission of voice signal using fiber optic cable. So how we can transmit the voice signal using fiber optic cable, that we are going to take in experiment number 8. And then these next 2 experiments, study of WDM and study of LED output characteristics. So we will consider it at last based on our syllabus coverage. Otherwise, these 8 practicals we are going to compulsory cover in the syllabus. Okay, so is it clear what practicals I have discussed? And one more thing I have shown you. This is the optical power meter. ह्याच्या एका एंडला तुम्ही ऑप्टिकल फायबर कनेक्ट करू शकता. And this second end of this optical fiber cable, you can connect it to the optical source. So this optical fiber, if you see, now here it is blank, but when I will hold it in front of light, you will be able to some amount of light coming out of the optical fiber. किंवा तुम्ही जर इथं सिम्पली ह्या किट मध्ये कनेक्ट केलं तर इथं तुम्हाला लाईट दिसते बघा ऑप्टिकल फायबरची. ओके, सो सिम्पली यू विल बी एबल टू सी द लाईट. आता मी जर हे ग्रीन एलईडी समोर धरलं तर हिअर आय एम एबल टू सी दिस green light. If I hold it in front of this red LED, then I will be able to see this red light. Okay, so in front of whatever light you are holding that fiber cable, you will be able to see that particular signal coming at the output of the optical fiber cable. Okay, so this is about the basics of the practical. So is it clear what we are going to see? Just 1 minute. Yes, is it clear or not?
Yes, ma'am.
So just wait 1 minute. So I will just show you some points on the kit so that you will understand it. Camera, just wait 1 minute. Are you able to see this kit? Just wait 1 minute, because I am showing it from mobile just to have you, just to give you some idea about the kit. Are you able to see this kit, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So here if you see, this is power supply, green button. Then here you are able to here there is red light, and that is nothing but output of the optical source. And here you have to connect the optical fiber cable. This second light. So about that kit, you will come to know when you will actually see it in the offline mode. So let us wait for some time. Just I am showing the basic thing. This is the optical source. And here it is giving the light. This is power button. Just hold 1 minute. So here, see, this is the optical fiber cable. So I will connect the optical fiber cable here. Optical source, let me connect the optical fiber cable. So at the output of this wire, if you see, at the output of this wire, you will be able to see the light. Are you able to see this? Students, give some answer. Jnaneshwari, Priyanka. See, this is the output coming from the fiber optic cable. Similarly, if you hold this fiber to this green light, इथं जर तुम्ही एक टर्मिनल याचं होल्ड केलं तर at output again you can see this is the green light. Because here it is off, no? Here at least it is on or not? No. त्यामुळे आवाज जात नव्हता त्यांना. Okay, was it audible what I have explained? Yes, Jnaneshwari. Hello, Sanjana.
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Audible? Now
Yes.
it is audible, but previously I have explained. This is optical fiber. इथं बघा आता हे kit आहे. I will show you that kit. So on this kit, if you see here, it is written fiber optic trainer. This is the fiber optic trainer kit on which we have to perform the experiments. Now blocks of the kits, if you see, बघा इथं कुठले block दिसतात. So here it is the function generator, this one. It will generate the analog signal, digital signal. Then these blocks are frequency modulator, pulse width modulator. This is main circuit, emitter circuit. म्हणजे इथं जर लाईट दिसतो का तुम्हाला? Are you able to see this light here? Yes.
Yes.
So this one, it is optical source. This is optical detector. So in between these 2 points, just wait, take this. So in between these 2 points, you have to connect the optical fiber cable. बघा आता इथं हा optical source आहे म्हणजे हा आपला transmitter आहे. Here it is receiver. See, you can see the light coming out of this optical fiber cable. At one end, the light it is coming out. Similarly, if I hold it here, Here also you will be able to see the light, green light. जर मी आता हे व्हाईट लाईट कडं इकडं उजेडाकडं घेतली ही फायबर केबल, तर इन दॅट केस यू विल बी एबल टू सी द ब्राईट नॅचरल लाईट कमिंग आउट ऑफ द ऑप्टिकल फायबर केबल. सो ज्या लाईट पुढे तुम्ही ऑप्टिकल फायबर केबल कनेक्ट करता, that light you are able to see. Okay, so I will show you the red light coming out of this optical fiber cable. Then I will connect this to the optical detector. म्हणजे ह्या किट मध्ये जर आपण बघितलं तर this part is optical transmitter, this part it is optical detector, and both are connected through the this transmitter and receiver, both are connected through the fiber optic cable. Okay, so this is the basic idea about the kit, and on the same type of kit we are going to perform the practicals. Okay, this is optical power meter. This device I have shown, that is optical power meter. मग कशी optical power measure करायची? Here is the fiber connected to optical source, and another end of the fiber I will connect to this optical power meter. So it is having slot for connection of optical power meter. So when you connect that two devices, you will get the reading of the optical power on the optical power meter. Okay, then this one, it is the optical fiber trainer kit. मग आता इथं हे बेसिक ब्लॉक मी सांगितले तुम्हाला. हा इन्फॉर्मेशन सोर्स आहे. इट इज जनरेटिंग द एनालॉग सिग्नल. हियर इफ यू सी, it is generating analog signal as well as it is generating the digital signal. नंतर हा ब्लॉक आहे FM चा. So this will be required only for second experiment. This block is pulse width modulation. This will be required only for third. Here it is emitter, that is optical source is used here, optical detector. In between them we have used the fiber optic cable. And here it is the next part for demodulation, so that you will understand when we will see this particular practicals. Okay, so did you get the idea about the practicals? Yes or no, up to some extent? प्रॅक्टिकल काय आहेत लक्षात आलं का तुम्हाला? कुठले प्रॅक्टिकल बघायचे आपल्याला ऑप्टिकल कम्युनिकेशन मध्ये? Signal transmission through fiber optic cable, that is first practical. बघा, first three practicals are based on transmission of signal first three practicals are based on you have made your camera off, no? Share केली का स्क्रीन? बघा, just check it. No, okay. My screen is visible, no? Okay. Yes, did you get the idea about these practicals? What we have to conduct in optical communication? First three practicals are based on transmission of the signal through fiber optic cable. Next four are measurement of optical parameters. We have to measure the propagation loss, we have to measure bending loss, optical power we have to measure, and measurement of numerical aperture. And then the next three practicals are based on measurement of optical, next three practicals are based on transmission of voice through fiber optic cable, study of WDM, and study of LED output characteristics. Okay, so these practicals, out of these last two, we will decide which practicals need to be taken. But these first 8 practicals we are going to check. Okay. Okay. So this is the lab manual of optical communication. Now the screen is visible. Must be visible. No, I am able to see this. See, it is coming as your screen sharing. You just check whether my screen is visible, students. Sanjana, Jnaneshwari, Priyanka. I will stop sharing. Once again, I will share. Just check if it is visible now. It must be visible. Yes, I'm getting disconnected because of some network issue. So whether my voice is audible? So
Yes,
this,
ma'am, audible.
okay. तर आपण पहिल्यांदा ही प्रॅक्टिकलची लिस्ट डिस्कस केली. So these 10 practicals we have to see. How to transmit the various electrical signals, then how to calculate the various measurement parameters of optical fibers, then log out now. And then next, this last two practicals are based on transmission of voice. म्हणजे नॉन इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल आपण फायबर ऑप्टिक केबल मधून कसे ट्रान्समिट करायचे. That we are going to see in the last part of this practical list. Okay, now I will show you the lab manual for this optical fiber. So I will also share it in your study material. So if you see the practicals for optical communication, actually the practicals are very easy as compared with practicals of other subjects for this optical communication, because the kit and whatever are the connections, those are very simple for this optical fiber experiments. Okay, so this one, it is optical. So in this lab manual, are you able to see my screen? Sanjana, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So here in the practical, in first part, I have explained this pre-lab for the optical communication. Pre-lab means what? Some theoretical information I have given here. So in the theoretical information, it consists of introduction of fiber optics. So how the fiber optics are working, or what is the basic working principle of the fiber optic cable, that is given in the first part, introduction to fiber optics. Then theory of fiber optics, how the optical fiber work. So if you go through these points one by one, you will get most of the useful points related to optical fibers. So how the optical fiber work, then refractive index, that is nothing but velocity of light in vacuum divided by velocity of light in the particular medium. Okay, so that is the refractive index. Basic concept आहे. So whatever we have seen in theory, refraction first step मध्ये दिलेलं इथं, then in second step total internal reflection. So here the angle of refraction is 90 degree. Then next, transmission of the light through fiber optical cable. त्याची diagram दिलेली आहे इथं. Then the next point is related to acceptance angle. So if the light ray is incident in this acceptance cone, then only it will be propagated. That is the acceptance angle. Then numerical aperture, that derivation is given n0 sin theta a is equal to n1 square minus n2 square raised to 1/2. Then again, this block diagram is given for optical communication system. Just for your simplicity and understanding, you can go through that diagram. See, optical fiber communication system, information source, then in between electrical transmit, optical source, optical fiber cable, and then detector, electrical receiver, and the destination. This is the block diagram of optical communication system. Then here in the second part of this pre-lab section, losses in the optical fiber are given. Attenuation, then material absorption losses, linear scattering losses, and these losses are given. My scattering losses. So these are the different types of losses explained here. अजून काय काय theoretical point याच्यामध्ये सुरुवातीला दिलेले. Okay, and here it starts with actually the practical. So first it is having list of the experiments. Same. Setting up fiber optic analog link, digital link. Frequency modulation using fiber optic cable. And then pulse width modulation using the fiber optic cable. हे पहिले 3 आहेत ते बेसिक कशाचे आहेत म्हणून सांगितलेलं. First 3 experiments. First 3 experiments are based on what? Transmission of electrical signal, analog, digital, FM, and then transmission of analog signal, digital signal, then FM signal and PWM signal. Then next one, it is study of propagation loss in the optical fiber, study of bending loss, measurement of optical power, and measurement of numerical aperture. So how these 4 parameters are transmitted through fiber optic cable, how these 4 parameters we have to calculate, that we are going to see in this part. Then next, transmission of voice through fiber optic cable. So first our voice will be converted in the form of electrical signal through mic, through fiber optic cable. Again, it is given to the optical source. Optical source will convert it in the form of light, and then it will be given to optical detector. Again, mic we have to use, loudspeaker we have to use. So that experiment we have to see. Okay. Again, as per this list, we are having transmission of computer signal using fiber optic cable. So as I told, last 2 practicals, what we have to take, that we will decide based on that particular situation. But these first 8 practicals are fixed one. Okay, so you can write down list of these experiments. Then I will keep it open in last 5 minutes, list of the experiments. Then here is the practical write-up given. First experiment, setting up fiber optic analog link and digital link. Then set here title, aim, objective, outcome, theory. Then here is one diagram related to this practical. Then fiber optic link means what? Receiver मध्ये काय आहे हे सगळी information इथे दिलेली आहे. Then the next part is procedure. First procedure for analog link, and second it is there for the digital link. Okay, that is given. Then this observation table is very important in the experiment write-up. Mostly probably no one will read more part of the theory or other thing, but your observations are very important. Observation मध्ये काय लिहायचं असतं? Input signal, output signal. What is voltage of input signal, voltage of output signal, frequency of input signal, frequency of the output signal, that we have to write. Then for digital link also same thing you have to write. Okay, so this is observation table. नंतर असतो तुमचा ग्राफ. प्रत्येक एक्सपेरिमेंट नंतर तुम्हाला ग्राफ काढावा लागतो. Okay, so up till now what practice we have followed? Due to this COVID, we have taken only one page write-up from you related to experiment, but now probably you have to write all these things. Okay, so you first go through the lab manual. I will share it with your group. आता इथं बघा पहिल्या एक्सपेरिमेंटला इनपुट सिग्नल, आउटपुट सिग्नल. For digital link also, input digital signal and output digital signal, that is given. Conclusion you have to write by your own. Don't write the conclusions in traditional way. Thus we have studied how to establish analog and digital link. त्यात काय वेगळं केलं ते लिहा. सेम वाटून येते conclusion सगळ्यांचं. Then oral questions आहेत ह्याच्यावरती. For every experiments, the oral questions have been given. What is meant by analog link, digital link? What are the specifications of analog and digital signals generated in the information source? किती voltage आहे analogचं, digitalचं किती आहे ते आपण बघूया next practical मध्ये. So today I have just given you the idea about the basic experiment. Then next, what is the wavelength of the emitted light? Suppose on the kit there are two LEDs. One LED is having different wavelength and another LED is having different wavelength of light. Then that we have to understand. Okay, so wavelength is important parameter to decide the properties of light. So this is about the basic. Then frequency modulation. याच्यामध्ये कसं आहे, एक्सपेरिमेंट सेम आहे, फक्त पहिल्यांदा फ्रिक्वेन्सी मॉड्युलेशन करायचं सिग्नलचं आणि मग तो केबल थ्रू ट्रान्समिट करायचा. तिसऱ्यामध्ये पीडब्ल्यूएम करायचं बेसिक इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नलचं. देन दॅट पीडब्ल्यूएम सिग्नल शुड बी ट्रान्समिटेड थ्रू फायबर ऑप्टिक केबल. Okay, that you have to understand. So next, like that, there are some practicals. Experiment number 3, 4. So for every practical you have to write down observations properly and calculations are there for some of the experiments like bending loss, transmission loss. Calculation ahead, how much amount of loss you are getting. So that should be accurate and that should be done with the pencil part. Okay, so this is there from my side. Do you have anything to ask related to practical? And it will be convenient if you are able to join through offline mode, because that kit and all that things I will be able to explain properly. Still I have tried to show it on the mobile, but how much you have understood I don't know, because visually it will be good, no, to see the kit and all other things. Theory we can understand through online, but for this practical it is somewhat difficult. Okay, next is study of bending loss. You just go through that manual. I will share it with you. I will first ask you to write down this list of the experiments. So all of you write down this list of the experiments. Practical जे जे आपण घेतो रीडिंग किंवा काय किंवा जे जे काही लिहायला लावते प्रॅक्टिकल मध्ये मी, that you have to write on the back side of your notebook. So you start it from the back side. Okay, so you can put today's date and you can write down experiment list. All of you write down this list. Okay, whatever is your OC notebook, at the back side of that OC notebook, you start writing reverse. So that your pages will not be wasted. Write down this list, list whatever I have shared. Just wait 1 minute. This list. Okay, written the list of experiments. Yes. So just wait 1 minute. Okay, so the first practical we are going to see in the next slot, but let me discuss some points with you about this virtual lab. Okay, how many of you know about this virtual lab concept? Can anyone tell what is the concept of virtual lab? Yes, virtual lab. If you see that, so laboratories, whatever are the standard laboratories in the renowned institute, like this IIT. So they are having their practical setup that cannot be available physically here at our remote place, but you can avail that facility. Just 1 minute. My screen is visible? Yes, no? But that facility you can avail at your place through this virtual lab. So I will show you how to log into it. www.vlab.co.in. So yes, you can write down this site www.vlab.co.in. So once you type this virtual lab, so you will find, or otherwise if you are able to type this virtual lab only, then vlab.co.in. So here you will be able to see all the information related to this virtual lab. आता याच्यामध्ये कसं असतं, दोन वेने तुम्ही सर्च करू शकता. फर्स्ट वे यू कॅन सर्च ऍज पर युअर सब्जेक्ट. सब्जेक्ट टाकून तुम्ही त्याच्या लॅबोरेटरी चेक करू शकता. दॅट इज वन वे. और अनदर वे इट इज यू कॅन search with the name of the institute. Now if you see here, बघा आता, broad areas of virtual lab. Now our subject is electronics and communication. बघा कसं करू शकता. Either here you will get the list of the institutes, through them you can log in. So here if you see COE Pune, COE Pune च्या अंडर आपला VLAB चा नोड आहे. Okay, so if you type click here electronics and communication, this is IIT Kharagpur. कुठल्या कुठल्या आहेत बघा आता इथे लॅब्स इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स अँड कम्युनिकेशन मध्ये. फेडिंग चॅनल्स अँड मोबाईल कम्युनिकेशन, ऍडव्हान्स नेटवर्क टेक्नॉलॉजी, एनालॉग सिग्नल नेटवर्क अँड मेजरमेंट, हायब्रिड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लॅब, RF अँड मायक्रोवेव्ह कॅरेक्टरायझेशन, डिजिटल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सर्किट लॅब, बेसिक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लॅब, लाईक दॅट. मग हे तुम्ही सर्च करायचं आता इथं जिथं हायब्रिड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लिहिलेलं आहे. चेक करा व्हॉट इज देअर इन दॅट. So most of the practicals available for the subject DT. तुमचा जो सेकंड इयरला DT सब्जेक्ट आहे त्याच्यावरती बरेच व्हर्च्युअल लॅब्स इथं अवेलेबल आहे. ओके, सो दिस वन यू कॅन सिलेक्ट or you can go back here. Again you select here as per the institute. आता बघा इथं IIT कानपूर बघा ओपन करून. So if you open IIT कानपूर oscillation lab आहे. Then material response to microstructural, mechanical, thermal. This is related to the, just a minute, let me check. I have clicked on electronics only. No, आता हे जे आहे IIT खरगपूर यांच्या इन्स्टिट्यूटच्या सगळ्या लॅब येतात. Now it will not come department wise. All the labs will come. So mechanism for robotics lab, virtual high voltage lab, virtual laboratory on multi-phase flow, then fading channels and mobile communication lab. So this will come under this particular institute. Okay, so now you have to search one by one. कुठल्या ह्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला, किंवा मग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स अँड कम्युनिकेशन जर तुम्ही क्लिक केलं तर ऍडव्हान्स नेटवर्क मध्ये ऑप्टिकल येणार नाही, फेडिंग चॅनल मध्ये येणार नाही, एनालॉग सिग्नल इट विल नॉट कम, हायब्रिड, RF अँड मायक्रोवेव्ह. So like that you will not be able to search probably because there are very less laboratories developed in virtual lab based on this optical communication. I have also searched either I think 2-3 industries, 2-3 institutes, they are having their lab related to optical communication. आता आपण IIT खरगपूरच्या बघतोय. Let me check, is there any optical lab in this? कसं सर्च करायचं, तो तुम्ही त्या इन्स्टिट्यूटच्या नावावरती क्लिक करा and you check list of the labs. And if overall तुम्हाला जर असं नाही दिसलं इथं की ऑप्टिकलचं काही नाहीये तर यू कॅन गो अगेन इन दॅट डिटेल्स. आता बघा आता कधी कधी एनालॉग सिग्नल नेटवर्क. So basically you may not feel, but in that if you click, some experiment will be there which is related to optical communication. Okay, so like that you have to search for the experiments. Okay, so I will check it for IIT Bombay. IIT Bombay च्या कुठल्या आहेत बघा आता. Control system, chemical engineering, satellite, mechanical, electronic devices, digital application, satellite modeling and simulation lab. So see here. They are having some simulations related to satellite. Simulation software तर आता सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे. Here you will come to know list of the experiments. कुठले कुठले experiment आहेत. And if you click on the name of the experiment, you will get its aim. जसं आपलं lab manual असतं, like that you will get its aim, theory, procedure, simulator आणि references. Okay, so let us check one by one where we will get for this optical communication. So you can also search. Satellite, it is given here. किंवा कधी कधी फिजिकल सायन्स जे आहे म्हणजे ऍज लेझर ऑप्टिकल फायबर दॅट इज हॅव्हिंग सम बॅकग्राऊंड अबाउट द physics also. That's why sometimes in this physical science lab also you may get some see optics virtual lab बघा फिजिकल सायन्स मध्ये कारण आता लेझर आहे किंवा एलईडी आहे all that is coming under the physics also. So here you will get optics virtual lab because that is having some background of the physics that which you have studied in the 12th. Resolving first आता इथं बघा optics virtual lab. Optics is the study of behavior and properties of light. My screen is visible. Students, those who are attending online, are you there? Are you there or not? Shefali is here, then Supriya is here. Only 2 students are remaining, Priyanka and Sanjana. Are you there in the lecture, Priyanka? Okay. So बघा आता इथं काय दिलेलं आहे त्यांनी optics is the study of behavior and properties of light including its interaction with matter and the construction of instrument that use or detect it. Then resolving, so first experiment is resolving the power of prism. Then angle of the prism using spectrometer. Next spectrometer II curve, spectrometer ID curve, spectrometer refractive index of the material of the prism, spectrometer dispersive power of the prism. So all that points you will get here. So you can remember that name where you got this. That is physics lab. Physics lab मध्ये तुम्हाला optics virtual lab that you could find. Again here you can see laser optics virtual lab. See लेझर मधले पॉइंट्स आहे त्याच्यामध्ये लेझर मधले एक्सपेरिमेंट्स आहे. How to measure the numerical aperture of fiber? You see here. Numerical aperture आपल्याला एक्सपेरिमेंट आहे. Practically we will see, but here they have shown to find the numerical aperture of the given optical fiber and to find its acceptance angle. So it is given here theory part. बघा आता इथे न्यूमरिकल अपर्चर कसं मेजर करायचा त्यासाठी बॅकग्राऊंडला काय थेअरी गरजेची आहे दॅट इज गिवन. दिस इज द बघा आता हाच फॉर्म्युला आपण बघितलेला n1 square minus n2 square raised to 1/2. Then what is the procedure? काय करायचं to start the experiment? To switch the laser, to select the type of the fiber used, to select the different laser sources. So how to do that practically? That is also given. And in some of the cases the simulation is also available. Then self evaluation. इथे MCQ दिलेले आहेत बघा. Self evaluation means it is given MCQs. What is working principle behind optical fiber? What is the answer? Total internal reflection. Then total internal reflection occurs only when the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. Then next, the sine of angle of incidence divided by the sine of angle of refraction equals optical density is called. So that is Snell's law. Optical fibers are often used in preference to copper wire when transmitting data. Which of the following is not a reason for the preferred use of optical fiber? So that we will see whatever are the MCQs. In refraction, when the ray goes from air to glass at angle of incidence, what one is that? happens. So then it is refracted in the core, like that it is given. Self-evaluation. Then it is simulator. So simulation it is given. Then assignment, see here it is simulation. There might be some tools that need to be installed. Assignment. Where it is? My screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
No, I am not able to see it.